One Word is a production of BFAC On Air.
Welcome back, everyone, to One Word.
One word.
One word.
One word.
Just in time
so
for
good.
the season finale.
Oh my god, you could hear the sound waves like
Right.
lining
It was,
up.
Don't listen to the end one. Like,
No.
just don't listen to
This
the
one
end
was-
one.
Much better.
Just keep this one in your heart.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the season finale, where we have an amazing time talking about destiny and how there are a lot of name drops of the previous words that we have had
Name
on
droppers.
this episode. I went through, and I made a list of like our different words
Yeah, you
and
did.
how
Look at
they
that.
kind of go with destiny. But there are so many. The one thing I didn't get to necessarily talk about is, well, we touched on it a little bit, but not enough, and that is how. So we talk about instinct quite a bit as it goes with destiny, but then what is like that thing that if this was a movie, right, and destiny was the lead protagonist, what would be the antagonist to that destiny? Phobia.
Oh. I didn't realize you were asking an actual question.
Yeah.
my
Phobia.
I was like, Carl definitely would be the
Carl.
antagonist. It's Carl.
Carl is the right? But you've got that phobia that can stop us from achieving our destiny. I feel so much that harmony is this thing. We've got to have this balance of understanding what destiny is, but also understanding what the impact our choices can make upon our impact upon this world, that kind of thing. And I really think that, Jenna, your stories that you told in this episode are, first of all, extremely inspiring, and I hope the people kind of feel those things, but they really kind of are a roadmap for how we kind of self-reflect, identify within ourselves what the path we should be on, what we should be doing, how we achieve things, how we get back on track, how we make conscious decisions, and how those decisions matter in our lives. All those little decisions matter. So thank you for sharing all of that with us.
I love
it's
the
really
story.
great.
It's
Well,
fantastic.
thanks.
Yeah.
Normally my stories are just like ridiculous.
I love even the ridiculous stories.
All the stories are
and
good.
some things, I think, a lesser person might find some of those little things along that journey almost trivial. And that was our last month's word. But if you think about it, just as Charlotte was talking in the trivial episode about Clue,
It's like there was no
she
Charlotte
was our
here
guest.
today.
She was our guest. But how those little things sometimes, or that science experiment that we come up with a trivial answer to, but it fosters that next step in learning for us, right? So some things people might see as trivial, but they can still be big, momentous experiences to you that lead you to consciously make decisions to aim for your destiny.
That's so true.
Yeah. That's what I
Okay.
loved about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Also.
Yeah.
Aw. One thing I did forget one thing that I want to mention is that at one point, I make Dominic cry.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. It's pretty early on, I
It
think.
is early
Yeah.
on.
It's pretty early on, and
Yep.
I was literally...
Tears were rolling down the face.
Oh man. One thing we mentioned in this episode, it just kind of happened to come up, was the song "Simple Gifts," because we were talking about
We did?
just that everybody has a gift. And so then I went to look it up because we were like, oh, what's the next line after "'Tis the gift to be simple"?
What is it?
It's "'Tis the gift to be free." And then this next line, I was like, this is what we're talking about. "'Tis the gift to come down where we ought to be." right?
Firework explosions.
Yes. And it's like, yeah. So I just thought that was like really interesting where I'm like, we're kind of talking about this. And then it says, and when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. So it's like
To be just right. Where
Yeah.
you're supposed to be.
where you're supposed to be. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is really
great.
cool. I
Wow.
like that.
Yeah.
What a connection.
That is a great connection. That's what this show's all about.
Connection.
Like all the connections we make
Yeah.
and the simple things that we find and people take advantage of. I really love the discoveries that we have.
Totally. We also talked a little bit about a ritual. You can watch the episode for the steps.
If you want
We're not
to
sacrificing anyone,
No,
guys.
no, no, no,
I
no.
promise.
This
wanna
is a
do
personal
the
ritual.
you can do the ritual.
Exactly. And it's just sort of about taking the time to set your priorities straight and like believe in yourself and believe that you can achieve your destiny and just sort out how you're going to accomplish said goals.
Yeah. If you wanted that manifestation thing that Razi's talking about, it is Chantel Raven in 2022 wrote about that. So you can look Chantel up for that as well. That's our source.
And just kind of going off of that, we also talked about like how you can have like kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that,
Yeah.
you know, kind of gets into that.
yeah.
And then also we talked about how destiny is kind of inherent and is kind of a part of all of us, and kind of looking for that destiny is.
Yeah, and the difference between destiny and fate. We touch
yeah.
on that as well. Yeah, well, it was such a great season.
Yeah.
Really
it was a
was.
good
Great,
season.
great season
Fantastic season.
to be with you all.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Thanks.
for being there for us.
Listening is a gift.
Listening
It is a gift.
gift.
Thank you, Razi. Well, my friends, I don't think I should talk on any longer.
Wait. Can we talk on just one smidge
Yeah,
longer?
we're going to talk on one smidge longer.
Do we know what our email address is?
Yeah, it is
What's our email
one
address?
for
It's one for.
it is one word at BataviaFineArtsCenter.org. Center spelled CENTRE.
So email us.
Yeah, so email us.
What kind of words do y'all want to hear
Oh, that's
next
a great
year?
thing.
Yeah,
What kind of words do you want to hear?
Also, my mom won't get mad at us anymore because she's like, you never tell me the email address.
Well, Mom, we told you.
We got you, Mom.
Okay. Without further ado, I just have one word for you. Destiny.
According to the Oxford Language Dictionary.
Because we're Oxfordians today.
The events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future, or the hidden power believed to control what will happen in the future, similar to fate.
Hidden
The
power.
hidden power. I know,
Hidden
right?
power similar to fate.
One thing I want to clear up real quick.
Yeah,
is
please
Yes.
clear it up.
The difference between destiny and fate.
What is the difference?
Okay, so destiny and fate are pretty interchangeable, but fate usually refers to events or outcomes that are predetermined, and destiny refers to the overall path that a person is going to follow. So it's sort of like everything along the way.
So
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
more like ambiguous.
Yeah,
kind of?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like I don't really love fate, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with destiny.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
Like
okay.
things to be predestined, but fate, it's like, oh well, obviously this was, you know,
If it
this
has
was
like a
gonna happen.
negative
Yeah.
connotation,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, it's fate. you
Whereas
know?
it's like with destiny, it's almost like, okay, we still have like this will to do things,
Ooh, I
right?
like it.
And so, but
Yes,
you still
tell
kind
me
of get
more.
to. Well, let me tell you, we are starting off strong, crazy strong. Emphasis on the crazy, and I love it.
I
It's
like
fate.
it crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all.
So I too looked a little bit up on fate versus destiny as well, and this kind of set me off down an interesting path in my research.
Okay.
What I found was talking about how fate is something that is predetermined by an outside force, while destiny is determined by the choices and actions taken by an individual.
Ooh, I like that.
Think of fate as something out of your control, while destiny is something you can control through choices and actions.
Okay.
That puts like more power in the person.
In the individual, yeah.
Destiny's still kind of fate-ish, but it's kind of what you were saying there. But actions I take can help me get to like my destiny or my
Change your destiny.
Ooh,
yes.
Ooh, yeah. Does that make sense? Because fate is almost like you're placed here, you get this, you do this, you will be that. That's kind of how it's like dictatorial. Almost.
Right. Where, it's like, I agree with that. And like, we all like, I feel like believe or think different things, and like fate and destiny have so many, like everybody has so many different connotations to it.
When I was looking things up, it was like, this is like a controversy for the ages,
Right.
like controversial discussions for the ages over this topic.
Yeah. And so it's interesting because like, for me, I feel like there is a plan, right? Like I was born, like there's a plan for my life, but but you're right. Like the choices that you make kind of dictate what's going to happen, but that plan is still there. It's just like how you're getting there. It's like there's a plan, there's a path, there's a purpose, and the different things and choices you do.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
Happening. It is like a choose your. Those were my favorite books.
Why
Those
don't
are
they
fun.
exist anymore?
I don't know. Let's make. Why
No,
aren't
you
they
can't
any
find
for
them anymore.
adults?
Now they have Netflix series.
I did one of those.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, but how is it? Is it good?
It's kind of fun. I did like a Bear Grylls. I don't know if
I have not heard of
But it's
this
like-
yet.
They're really
Yeah.
fun. They're kind of cheesy, but I don't
yeah,
know.
it was kind of corny, but
Yeah.
I was like, this is kind of
Because
fun.
I loved it. For listeners who might be young and don't know what a choose your own adventure novel was, it was literally a book you read. And you read it.
That's it. You read it. You chose your own adventure.
And then you'd get to something and it'd be like, if you want this to happen, go to page 17.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want
Oh
this
my
to happen, go to
gosh.
page 29.
I did a lot of those actually in elementary school. They had them at my elementary school. I don't,
Yeah,
I
same.
don't see them
Okay.
anymore.
That's
but-
good.
I want to do
Anyways.
the Netflix ones now.
Yeah,
they're
they're
fun.
really fun.
They're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of choose your own adventure,
Yes.
and destiny kind of being more like that and less dictatorial, we chose some answers in
Oh,
a
gosh.
quiz that we all took.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct? We all took a destiny quiz.
What? Two of us took another Destiny quiz.
I did. I'm going to talk about that
Okay.
too. Okay? But let's start with our official one that
Okay.
we took. And who wants to reveal their destiny first?
I will reveal mine
Harm.
first. I had fame and fortune. My destiny is success, which sure, I like that, but I mean,
Well,
I
tell
don't
us what fame and fortune is. What does it say?
know.
Yeah.
Fame and fortune. It said that you kind of create what is next for you, and you need to build off of your passions, and it will lead you to eventual success, which I think is just good advice.
I found that
Normally,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Like lead off your passions to create your success. That word passions, I think, might come up again in this episode a little bit.
What was the picture with it?
It was money.
I know because I also got
I did too.
Oh, all three
Wait
of
a
you
minute.
did.
Wow. So this makes me curious what yours was and what you did wrong not to get fame. What bad choices did you
Yeah,
make?
right. And we can maybe go to the first quiz. That's all we're about. No, so I got destined to lead.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
And it. Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like. I really like to follow though.
Maybe
so
you're destined to lead and you just need to make choices that lead
that's
towards
fair.
that path.
Yeah.
That's fair. So it says while you this is so funny. It said while you were associating your words, we noticed that you seem a little stressed out. In order to fulfill your destiny, you'll need to go through this learning phase. Right now, you're gearing up to be a compassionate and driven leader. While things might feel tough and laborious, you are slowly gathering all the skills you'll need to better the world. Your friends, family, and peers believe in you, and they already know that you are on your way to being a true inspiration.
That's wonderful.
It was
That is
true.
nice.
I think that is all very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Oh, thank
Yeah, we
you.
do.
I also do.
Oh
We
my
believe in you.
gosh.
So I had a quiz I found. It was really not good. I
It
think
was terrible.
There were-
It wasn't just
awful.
not good.
there
it was
were
a terrible
typos in it.
quiz.
And words spelled
It
wong.
was awful.
But
The
I took it
questions
anyway.
they asked were
I
ridiculous.
just gave up halfway through.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at it, so
That's how bad it was.
But
No.
I
that's
got
how
the
bad
same
it
thing.
was.
You got the same thing.
Virtually the same thing. Fame and fortune is what I got on the one. And the other one I got was a showbiz star.
Oh.
Okay, close enough.
All accurate.
Oh yeah,
Right? I feel it.
it really
Wait,
gets you.
I'm going to show Rozzy the picture that it gave me real quick. Isn't that pleasant?
That's like aesthetically pleasing.
I know. And then I'm going to show you the second picture.
What is this picture?
Oh, shoot. Oh, that's Ninjago. Sorry, I forgot it's touchscreen.
Oh, yeah, touchscreen.
Okay, this is Squeaky. That's the picture. Isn't that
Oh,
aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very.
see that?
that's very calming.
Okay.
Let's describe it. So it's got green grass with a horizon
That
line.
isn't what?
And then it's
That's not grass.
4 balls.
You're not describing this in an aesthetically pleasing way. The palettes are like pale pink and a pale green. On the pale green,
It's grass.
there
The
are-
green is
All right.
resting on the
Let's
turf.
just say, know it's aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
It's like
So-
something I would put in like a bathroom. You know, it's
Right?
calming.
Yeah, it's very calming.
What is your bathroom art, Carmen? This may sound weird, but the bathroom art we have on our main floor bathroom. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what the artwork is on the walls?
Is it the rainbow fish
It's all family photos,
in the bathroom?
like back 300 years.
300
Like
years?
yeah,
like literally 300 years.
literally back 190 years.
Okay, so
Okay,
not
Yeah,
300.
so
not
not like
300.
pilgrims, but
Maybe one step below that.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes back far. I should bring in a
Wow.
picture to show you. That's
That's
our
cool.
bathroom art.
Jeez.
that's cool.
I like that.
It's better than mine. Mine's like the peanuts, and that's about it.
That's awesome.
Like the Peanuts characters.
Like the peanut, not like the nut.
not
but
like, it's like peanuts all over.
little-
It could be Mr. Peanut.
It could.
That'd be amazing.
I put
yeah.
Mr. Peanut in my bathroom.
Shower curtain.
Okay, sorry. I feel like I took us on a tangent.
No, it's
With the
great.
pictures. So I showed you that one picture because it leads into what my result was from the other test, and I want to show you this picture because it says that I will become homeless. Okay,
That is not bathroom art.
That is not.
and no,
That's someone in a.
right? And when I got it,
That's
I was
good.
like, this is a terrible quiz and I need to find something else. It says your destiny will give you nothing except the shelter of the streets because you were very bad on the present. Well, you can change your destiny by working hard. I was like, okay. No, I was like,
You answered a couple yes/no questions. You're homeless.
yeah, right? It's like, I don't feel
That's
like
terrible.
it should have led here. Like,
Oh no.
like home?
I'm crying right now.
I was so mad at it. Did you see this picture?
I see the picture, but your
Holy
reading of it
Moses.
was also brilliant too.
Yeah, so that's why we did another quiz, and I like the other answer better.
Yeah, I like the other one for you better too.
Woo! That was something.
That's loaded.
So mostly those were good results.
Yeah. Do you agree with your results? Like, do you like your results?
I think I should totally be a star and have fame and fortune.
I think you
And
are a
that-
star. Own that.
I don't know. I think, and it'll come out through the episode. I think a lot of destiny is what we make of it, and how much we place in destiny versus, might I say, the harmony we find between bringing,
Harmony.
between acknowledging that perhaps some things are placed in our path for us, but not solely relying on it and knowing we still have to put forth work and
Yeah, I was
effort.
going to say, I think some people are like, oh, well, there's a plan for my life, so I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is going to happen. And that's not how we should live our life.
I agree with you. I agree. I found two different kinds of destiny. Okay. And I want to know which you.
Was one of them a person? Does she have black hair? Because I know her.
Really?
I do know a person named Destiny.
It is directed destiny and directive destiny. So basically, directed destiny is let's put this in the scenario of a work life type of thing. Okay.
Got it.
Directed destiny would more be there is someone there, and you have a job, you have a strict job description, you are carrying out the orders of this person. Your destiny and what you do there is really dictated down to you, and you're carrying out almost something else.
Like Sims.
Like, yeah.
Like what?
Like The Sims.
Yeah.
Like The Sims.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's-
Oh, you mean like the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
boss or something that's like,
Yeah.
do this here now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But directive destiny is more destiny where, you're placed in a situation, but then you are given almost freedom or autonomy to make decisions to head down the paths that you believe are accurate or correct or the best type of situation or scenario. So directed or directive destiny, which one do you, when it's said to you, which one are you like, either like that's me or either, no, yeah, I live in that realm?
What was the second one you said?
Directive.
Okay.
That's
That
where you
one.
kind of, that's the one I feel most comfortable with.
Me too.
Yeah. But I can imagine that there's people who are like, oh, I don't want to, like, I'm much happier and more, I feel safer when I know I'm executing something within parameters that it's going to lead to something better or good.
Sure.
I don't want to be the person to make the decision or take the chance or, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I like the idea of having control over my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And does that scare you at all?
Having control over my life?
Yeah.
No.
No, I would be probably scared not having control
Yeah,
over
me
my
too.
life.
You'd be scared
Yeah.
not having control over your life? Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, Bill. Well, because, I think it's interesting using the term control over your life. And I don't know why. I don't have a
just
good
is.
reason for why. Yeah. But I think I said will earlier. Did I say free will earlier?
I think you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
if
I
not,
think
we'll say you did.
Okay.
Anyways.
free will. There, I said it. So I think like as humans, we have this free will that we're able to use, right? And in the past, we've seen a lot of situations where like things were controlled for people, and that was not good. Like lots of situations. And so I think
Well, I think in some sense that there's still a lot.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. So I think it's like, yes, having control over your life, but then it's almost more like just accepting freedom, right? Accepting this freedom that we have and making the best of it. So I guess that is control, but it's like, I think you have to be careful with like, are you limiting yourself by how you're having control, or are you staying open to what is out there and what's for you?
We're kind
makes sense.
of. This is totally cool. We're heading down a path. Let's head down that path a little bit, because how much do we think we have
Did you like that?
Control.
Yeah,
I did like that.
or free will based upon factors that are given to us or the given circumstances of us? For example, you were born in a specific location.
Michael Reese
born-
Hospital, Chicago, Illinois.
Don't tell them that.
Oh, sorry.
You were born, though, in a specific country. Do we think that because of where you're born, that automatically changes the choices that you have and can make? You were born at a certain time in history. And because of that, today, the decisions that Choose Your Own Adventure novel that we're talking about, you are able to make decisions that perhaps people 100, 200, 300, 400 years ago could not make the same as you. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm a person and I was born today and that was a person and they were born. Why? There's determining factors almost. There's a series of historical events that have come before us that could affect the future, right? There's this whole factor of determinism. And determinism is, there are three kinds of determinism: theological determinism, cultural determinism, and historical determinism. So there's the three kinds of determinism. It comes from an essence of the fact that the things that happen in the past directly affect our destiny in the future. You can talk. You don't need to raise your hand.
I'm raising his hand.
Just to clarify, when you talk about like the three types of determinism, that's like how your environment kind of affects.
It's how past things determine people's future destiny.
Like the
Gotcha.
history of like a country or like
the history
Yeah.
of a
Okay,
country,
okay.
the history of a gender, the history of, like, there's so many different
like,
things that have
religion
happened
throughout. Gotcha,
within
gotcha.
history. And they're concrete things that have happened. And in some sense, I would like to think that the determinism of that destiny and things that have happened in history actually could prevent things from happening in a future
Sure.
society. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So how much do we put in that kind of thing? How the past things or the circumstances we were given at birth affect the destiny that we could fulfill in the future?
I never really thought about it like that before, but
Yeah.
like now that I'm thinking about it, I think there's totally like political, economic, and social like boundaries or like obstacles that people could face that keeps them from fulfilling like their destiny, or it like changes what path they can actually take.
Yes. I come to this a little bit because I feel like, and I hope we feel this, although the world's not perfect, but I think we are coming in, we're in a world that in many ways has cultural, social systems and places that are better from where, not perfect. There's
No.
there's a lot of things going on, but that are better than they were 75, 90, 150, 300 years ago. And just because it doesn't mean the person 350 years ago living in the center of Asia had any less right to a specific destiny than I do. I just think that the time that people are born and the historical things that have come after that person's birth potentially give us a better ability to fulfill a higher level of destiny
Sure.
than people who might have come before us.
Like-
is that a long
Yeah.
way of saying something?
Like a medieval peasant can't work on Wall Street, but like because we live in this day and age, there's a lot more opportunities for me, let's say, to go work on Wall Street or do whatever else that I want to do and travel and
Yeah.
Well, I think what it comes down to is like we do the best with what we have and with what we're given.
Yeah.
And like in some places, you're going to just naturally have more things available to you.
Yeah.
And like people like our ancestors,
But that
our
doesn't make us
past-
better than those people.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, there are people from hundreds of years ago who are achieving way more than I am. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I think like there are different things and different routes for us. And just because, and even in that case, like, just because I don't necessarily achieve what somebody, like, I will never be queen, right? You know, like, I'm not going to be president.
I don't know. My two young daughters, they do tell me that I slay queen.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean,
That's funny. But yeah, but like, just because I like, that's what's for them. But like, there are other things for me. And I think one thing with destiny too is like, there are things and paths and stuff that I like. My path has been crazy. Like, if you look at the path from like when you were born to like where you are now and what made the way for that, and just the different things you've learned along the way, there are so many personal milestones where you're like, that's a huge achievement for yourself, or you're so much further than you ever thought you would be. So it's almost like, I almost feel like I don't even necessarily want to look at, I don't want to like discount people in the past and like what they've done, or like people near me, or like what people in the future are going to do. But it's almost like I can't look at those things necessarily, because like, man, what was that episode we were talking about? Comparison. Were we talking? It's not comparison. Shoot, I'm forgetting. I'll figure it out.
okay.
But
like a one-word episode?
a one-word episode.
Was it this season?
Yes, I think everything flows together.
Yeah.
You know? I'll figure it out before the
We're
end.
at the end of season 3 now. So
I know, there's
this
so
is
many.
nearly 30 words.
That's
And,
crazy.
Wow.
We should have a party.
That's not till 100.
Oh,
Episode
that's
100.
so
Rats.
many.
We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back.
come
Yeah,
say
yeah.
hi.
And then we'll like bring out Scrabble tiles and we'll just have words everywhere and like Scrabble tiles. But yeah, it's almost like you need to be focused on your path and your plan and your purpose. And like, you can look at others and be like, man, I want to achieve that. Like, I want that to be for my life.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is like, what's happening for me, and what can I achieve, and
I think
what's
that's all
gonna make
great.
me.
And
yeah.
I, when you talk about your different experiences and the path that's like that, I think that leads to a high ability to achieve destiny. By the way, if you can't tell, I think we're totally heading down the path of fate going one way, destiny going another. Fate is that predetermined thing. Destiny is that thing that you have choices in, right? Does that make
I
sense?
think it can still be predetermined though.
But there are those, if I go back to that choose your own adventure statement there, it is to an extent, but you have it has to do with destiny is determined by the choices and actions taken by an individual. So yes, there may be something set out for you, but if we're both set out with the same exact thing, it doesn't mean we'll both actually get there. It doesn't mean you can achieve. It doesn't mean you both achieve your destiny without the actions taken by an individual. Does that make sense?
I feel like another way to say it is like destiny is kind of like always changing. So it's like every choice you make kind of alters your destiny, and it's not a thing where you can like mess up destiny or like screw it up or anything, because it's like if you make a decision, you were meant to make that decision. If you feel like you missed out on something, like you were supposed to miss out on something, and that all leads to like a greater like destiny.
That kind of almost feels like the season 2 word potential, when we talked about that a little bit as well. So let's talk about, there are 4 factors to kind of getting towards your destiny there. All right. I'm going to tell you what the 4 factors are, and we can talk about them in depth.
Okay.
Drive, passions, experiences, and skills. Okay? So the drive, this refers to the conviction within yourself, right? To solve problems or seize an opportunity that you encounter, that kind of thing. That's what drive is. Passions, those are activities you love to do, right? Music, engage in a passion. You reach what they call a flow state.
Flow state.
Yeah, time. Yeah, he flow with it.
Oh.
Time passes quickly for you while you do that. And typically, people who have a passion, they're above average at that thing that they find a passion in. Experiences. So these are moments in your daily life. It refers to a moment when something memorable happens. These experiences can be good or bad, but it's an experience that you have had. And then skills. Skills refer to the abilities that you acquire throughout your life.
I got skills.
They're multiplying.
And they're multiplying.
That's all we can sing. That's
Okay.
all we have. You get them through college.
I don't think they got that reference.
I don't think they
No,
did.
No.
we didn't.
Are we too young?
Probably.
Maybe.
Your job, volunteering, those are the skills that you get there. And it's how those interact with one another that kind of guides you towards your destiny, right? What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about this thing, and I've had these experiences in life, and so I want to, I've gained these skills which give me the drive to then infuse this for other people or solve this problem for humanity. But the combination of these four things, the drive, the passion, the experiences, and the skills, are the things that can help us down our course towards destiny.
You know, I think it's interesting you say that because, like, I was thinking, especially with passion and work, it's some people go into a job because they're passionate about something, and then
Yes.
sometimes people do a job because it makes the most sense logically or financially,
Yes.
and then it's not something they're passionate about, and I feel like that can kind of lead people to like resent their job in a way. And I don't know, I feel like that could shift things.
I did the very practical one. I got a degree in theater.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, to go off of that. So when I worked in marketing for a while.
You were very happy there.
I was not happy there at all. Marketing is not for Jennifer Carpenter.
We talked a little bit about marketing too in the phobia episode.
Did
we? We did.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
And how and kind of ethics of marketing sometimes,
Yeah.
and how sometimes marketing is kind of creating like a phobia of something and then solving it with this product for people, right?
Well, and so I worked at a couple companies. One company was a terrible company. It was terrible, y'all. Dominic knows some of those stories. It was terrible.
Do you want to say the company? Or are you not?
No. It was bad. And then the other company I worked at was fabulous. And it was, they create different programs for education, special education. And it's a great, great company. It was not meant for me.
Yeah.
And
How did you know it wasn't meant?
So as I was in it, right? Like everybody was so excited for me to be there. I was excited to be there. I was doing video production stuff there as well.
Culture was good.
The culture was good. The people were great. It's a good company. They're doing good things. They care about people and children. And so I was like, of course, I'll be amazing at this. And I got
And I just want to take
there.
this time and I want to tell you, you are amazing at everything you do. There
Okay.
you go.
Well, not everything. And while I was there, I just sort of realized like I just was not good at being behind a computer.
Yeah.
And like the little details of the things, like there were just certain things where I'm like, I'm just sitting here at this computer all day. Like, I want to be creating videos. I want to be with people. I want to be, and I just realized I was such a people person, which is funny because half the time I'm like, I want to sit in the corner away from people, right? But I just realized like, I don't know if this is for me, and I don't know that I'm actually good at this. And so I worked with my boss. I was blessed to have a boss who like, we talked about it. Like we were very open. I was very open about like my insecurities there and like what I was good at and like what I was trying to achieve and stuff. And he was gracious enough to be like, well, why don't we do this? Let's try this. Let's try this. Until we got to a point where I was like, is this working? And he's like, if you want to start looking elsewhere, that's okay. And it was a really hard conversation. But it just kind of, and in that conversation, this is what I wanted to bring up. In that conversation, he was like, he said something about, he's like, when you first interviewed with us, you like, we saw this video of you doing spoken word, and we like saw these videos that you created and like these things you were doing with children. And he's like, you have all these passions for people and creating and do, you know, like being out there doing that stuff. Like maybe you should find something doing that. Like maybe that's what you should seek. And I told somebody else that, and they're like, well, yeah, but you also have to make money. And I was like, true. So it's interesting because it is like, okay, you have all these passions, but not everybody can't do something that's with their passions, like necessarily for work, right?
Correct.
For work.
Sure.
For other things, yes.
I don't know that everyone's destiny has to be work related.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No. Yeah. And so from there, I'll be real quick. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, we love
this
it.
is great.
From there,
Great story.
so like I stayed there, and he was great. He worked with me really well, and he's like, you know, you can stay here until you find something, whatever. And so I had gotten a call from somebody who worked here at the school, and he's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to, like, he had to go get treatments and stuff. And he's like, would you be able to come sub for me like one day a week? And I was like, no, there's no way I can like leave and sub for a video production class one day a week. Like, what am I going to tell my job? Like, I'm already not in a good place. Right? And so like months went by, and he called back, and he's like, all right, like, I'm not going to be able to be there for like the rest of the school year. Can you come and like be a permanent sub there? And so I was like, okay. I like thought about it, prayed about it, and was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And that was such a scary moment because it's like,
There can be fear.
there is so much fear because a permanent sub does not get paid a lot. Definitely not what I was making at this other place. And it's like, who knows after these 2 or 3 months what's going to happen after that. But sometimes you have to just kind of step into this faith and trust what is going to happen for your life. And it turned out.
So what I took away from that is you had multiple things put in your path.
Yes.
You had that second boss, not the initial boss.
Oh, heavens.
that you had that second boss there who was placed there. And sometimes we have to go through the opposite of what we think feels great.
You got to go through some things.
Yes. But you had that person who was there and able to guide you through it. You were placed there for a reason.
Yep.
But then there was actions you took. And then you were placed with this other decision.
Yeah.
And you could have said, no, it does not make enough money.
It doesn't make enough money.
It's too insecure.
It does not make sense for me to do this.
I have this phobia of not being able to eat. That's not a phobia. I think that's
That's a real concern.
That is a real concern. I already took a quiz that said I was going to be homeless. Like, here we go.
But you'd made a decision.
Yeah.
So it was placed in front of you, and it took you down that path of what your passions say. You're using your skills. I'm using your experiences.
Yes. The fact that where I am, and like we all know, like I'm a woman of faith, right? And so like I fully believe God has a plan for my life, but I can't see, like I don't know the things that are going to happen, but I'm making these choices and hoping that it's within like what's going to happen.
In the
but like,
guardrails.
we don't know, right?
Yeah,
right. And so it's crazy to kind of look back and see like, well, if I hadn't have interned at the school, I wouldn't have known that guy who would later be like, come work here. But then I had to go through all these like ups and downs of like craziness to even like I gained skills at that place. Right, I gained skills at
maybe that's why you were there.
Right,
give you the skills.
Yes, I gained skills at the bad place. I also learned what I would not take at the bad place. Like so no matter what you're doing, I feel like there are it's learning points and it's growth points too.
Brilliant. So So what happens though if you don't know
You just cry.
what your
You just cry a lot.
what your purpose is, what your destiny is? What is there something you can do?
I don't think that you do know though.
No.
You don't know.
Right.
Like you just live.
Yeah.
You live, but what if you're just not feeling fulfilled? You feel like you're just constantly negative. You feel like you're constantly unhappy. You feel like you're constantly not living up to everything you believe in. What happens then? Are there things we can do that can help us get back within those guardrails?
Listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Listen to One Word.
Listen
is
to
number
One Word.
one on our list.
I think you just have to like try new things. You know,
Try new things.
You gotta
right.
just like get out there and I don't know, join a new club, get a job in a place you wouldn't normally want to get a job,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
and just
great.
kind of see if it's for you.
Yeah.
I think you kind of have to reflect on your life and see like what aspect of your life you're kind of lacking in. Like, is it socially? Is it even physically too? Just like moving around, or like I don't know. I just feel like there's a balance of like so many different aspects of our lives, and if one part of that is like out of balance, then you're just gonna feel awful.
Okay. Great. Yeah. I agree with those.
And I think too, find your people. Find your people.
Surround yourself with people.
Surround
who
yourself with people who are going to
your
encourage you,
values
who
and-
have, yeah. And sometimes people will see things in you that you do not see in yourself and will encourage
totally.
you in that way.
Oh, totally. Here's a couple hints that I have from
Hints?
Yes, from Tara and Amy. Tara
are
Tara
they?
Davina
What-
and
oh,
Amy
okay.
Bobinger.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
a
that's
fun,
fun.
name.
One could be to reflect on things that make you feel excited. Like when I'm excited, what am I doing?
Dancing.
Dancing? Oh, sure. Okay.
Just like this.
2, consider any special skills or talents that you have. 3, take your education and training into account. This goes back to that skill thing. Examine the things you wish you could change in the world. Imagine your life as a narrative and daydream about the ending. Like in my life, I would love to see this happen by the end of it.
That kind of goes off kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where it's like
yeah.
if you kind of imagine yourself doing this thing, or like say that you're going to do this thing, like it takes you to that
I got
thing.
something. We're going to
I
come back
like
to
that.
that.
Let's
We're
do
going to
that.
come back to that one. Make an inspiration board. Use insights to help you define what you do. Try to think creatively about how you can combine your education, passions, and strengths into personal or career paths that will fulfill you. So those are some things, but every single one of those in my head, as I was reading through all those and then the descriptions of those, they all said this one thing: you have to consciously decide to think. You're analyzing. You're thinking about what gets you excited. When you're excited, you're taking note of it. One of the things they say is carry a journal around. And, if you have a journal and you're like, oh, this made me excited. I felt really happy doing that. Like those are the kinds of things you have to consciously choose to think about. Am I making that impact? Am I heading down the right path? Or am I sitting in this place that just makes me feel? And your second quiz was about homeless, but no, I'm going to say this in all seriousness right now. Are you just sitting in this place that makes you feel homeless? Without a home, without a tribe, those people that encourage you? Are you sitting in this place that just feels empty to you? Consciously have thought.
Yeah. This also kind of leads me. I just thought of this. So, do you guys think there's a way to know if you fulfilled your destiny? And like, if so, how do you think you would know, like, if and when you fulfilled it?
Wow.
Good question.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll wait to respond because I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Oh gosh, I love your talking. That was great stories. I don't know that it matters.
Yeah.
I don't know that there could be necessarily an end point to a destiny. If I'm visualizing it, I see it more as, I've been given these gifts. I've talked about it in past podcasts where I get these waves of inspiration that I have to consciously make the choice to grab onto. And then it takes me down that path a little bit, but I don't see it as an ending path. I see it as a continual journey to have a certain kind of impact or statement upon the world. Does that make sense, Rosie?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think I do think we're all given gifts. And if we're using those gifts, like we're just gonna continually be learning and growing and just like being fulfilled through that and fulfilling others
and
through
can
that.
I say everyone does have gifts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's not, you don't have to, we're not talking about the gifts of having an outstanding voice and singing in front of 1,000 people. We're not talking about having outstanding athleticism and
He's
that's
going to
your
turn
gift.
me down at that point.
I'm not going to. That was beautiful.
That was gorgeous.
amazing.
You're not going to be homeless anymore.
Can we
Thank you.
can we appreciate that listening is a gift?
Oh, it's definitely. Are you telling me that I
That-
don't have that gift? Is that what
A little
you're
passive
saying?
aggressive.
No, that's not that caring for other people is
I
a gift.
agree.
We often think of these gifts maybe as these extraordinary talents, and really sometimes a gift is a simple thing that we can bring. And as you look at those things, as you make that conscious effort, I think you also need to look at the simple things, the simple gifts that you were given, because I'll be honest,
Tis a
our
gift
world
to be simple.
is a gift to be.
What is that? Why do I know that?
Why do you know that?
Well, okay. As
What is
musicians, you've probably played it multiple times.
Yeah.
So we played it in band
Was
when I
it
was growing
Simple
up.
Gifts?
Yeah.
Simple gifts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Harmon, you mentioned something about manifestation.
I
correct,
did.
right?
Yeah. I love manifestation.
There is an ancient manifestation ritual.
Are we going to do it?
I think it takes more time than this.
It takes
And the moon needs to be in
10
the
plus
right place.
years. It has to be the year of luck. And you need to be in like some. I didn't really understand it. It's not.
You have this? What do you have?
I looked through it a little bit. It's about a book. I wasn't going to read the whole book. I'm sorry. But I read kind of the Spark Notes.
Yes.
And basically, you can manifest things you can kind of figure out your destiny and figure out where you want to go and manifest that through kind of like meditation along with like different kinds of like times of the year. That was a little bit more like spiritual, but
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So manifestation ritual, it has its roots in the 19th century New Thought movement. New Thought is grounded in it's not grounded in any particular religious tradition, but incorporates threads from religion, ancient Greek philosophy, and pop psychology, among other sources. So that's kind of what it is. There's a couple steps to it. Okay. Number one is you want to create your space. Okay. Find space that feels sacred and peaceful to you. Clear away the clutter and set up an altar in front of you with a few candles and whatever else you like. Okay. 2, be clear about what you want. Don't just tell the universe you want abundance. Be clear with what you want, why you want it, and by when. Remember, make sure you believe it is possible and don't limit yourself. See it. Imagine what you want is manifested. Concentrate on it. Imagine clearly what you would like to have, what you are doing, where you are, how you feel. Meditate on this and keep it clear in your mind. Say it. Create an I am affirmation statement based on your vision. The statement will help you keep your thoughts and emotions positive and focused. Here's examples of I ams. I am healthy and make nourishing choices for my body. I am a carer. I love. I am a 6-figure business owner. Things like that.
I am fame and fortune.
Write your intention statement with a plan. 6, release your intention into the universe.
This feels like a lot of work.
It does. Use one of your candles and the paper to release your intention into the universe so it can manifest. 7, close the ritual. Give thanks as though your desire has already manifested itself.
You see, when you said ritual, I was getting a little worried, thinking we were about to be like sacrificing infants or something.
No,
But
just-
Oh my gosh.
it's actually
time.
like pretty normal because I feel like a lot of religions, I mean, you don't really think of it as like a ritual, but like prayer in kind of the Christian religion where you like just sit down and pray and kind of have that conversation and kind of visualize what it is that you want, how you would like to achieve it. And you get that in like Buddhism through like meditation and kind of the centering of like exactly what it is or like how you would reach kind of that destiny of perfection or that kind of stuff. So I think it's been observed in a lot of religions, and I think it works to kind of manifest your destiny by thinking, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to achieve it, and it just kind of works.
It totally like helps you prioritize
Exactly.
things. Yeah. And like, I don't know, it's like a moment where you're blocking out the rest of the world and you're just focusing on your path and what steps you're going to take to accomplish those things.
Whether or not it actually manifests it
Yeah.
into the world,
Right.
I don't know, and I'm not judging people who believe in that. But the thing I think that does is it makes time for you to almost believe in yourself, right? It takes time. It gives you the time and the space to focus on you and what you need, where you want to be, what your priorities are, and kind of focus you on a goal. All right, so we talked a lot about different things of destiny, right? But can destiny be dangerous? What do you think? Can it be dangerous? I
think-
threw something at you just there.
Yeah. I think it can. I think like kind of believing that you have a destiny, like
I do have a destiny, and I don't need to do anything
And-
because it's going to happen for me, all right,
Or
people?
like-
Stop pushing me.
exactly.
Well, I wouldn't call. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Kind of just like, I mean, if you kind of think of manifest destiny in like the
Yeah,
US,
okay,
just
yeah.
like this is destined to us. This is what we deserve. I don't really care what everybody else thinks. This is mine. And it just kind of like you block out like all reason and you're just like hyper focused. Yeah.
You kind of take out that conscious choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like that's not destiny itself being dangerous. That's
Yes.
kind of
You.
people's interpretation
Human
of
nature.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
human nature. That's where the danger part comes in.
Human nature often leads to danger.
Or
Or some of those instincts that we talked about back at the beginning of the season. We talked about a whole bunch of instincts that were put into us as human beings back when we were cavemen and we had to survive versus the world we actually live in, and that instinct hasn't left our body. Like greed was
yeah.
an instinct for us so that we could survive with food.
I Googled, can destiny be dangerous?
Oh, great.
And
yes. And it said yes or no. It's a
said-
yes or no. It's a yes or no answer.
Yes.
And
There's a book.
there is a book.
There's a
yeah.
novel called Destiny Can Be Dangerous. It's a spy novel.
It's a
Yeah.
yes. So there's something called destiny instinct.
Oh,
Combining
Mashup.
two of our words.
Two of our words.
Combining two of our words.
So
Two
basically,
word.
the destiny instinct
That
is
was
a
nice.
cognitive bias that leads us to believe that our lives are predetermined by fate or some higher power rather than shaped by our actions and choices. This instinct can be seen in various aspects of our lives, from our personal beliefs about the future to our political and social views. It can lead us to accept our circumstances as unchangeable and prevent us from taking control of our own lives. Here are some examples of some destiny instinct things,
Okay.
right? A belief in predetermined social hierarchy. Think about this. Let's go back to England. We love England. don't
We do love England.
Let's go back to, like, pre-Richard III even.
Okay.
Right?
Feudalism.
There's a very distinct social hierarchy.
Yes.
It is predetermined, and I belong where I belong, right? It's destiny. It's a predetermined social
Yeah.
hierarchy.
Are you in
right?
the ton? Are you not in the ton?
I would not have been.
You wouldn't. I would not have been either.
Belief in predetermined success or failure, that we don't have actions that lead to our success. No, it's just predetermined, okay? Belief in predetermined national destiny. Some people believe that the fate of a nation is predetermined by factors such as geography or history. This belief can lead to a lack of effort to improve our countries. Predetermined personal destiny. There's predetermined gender roles, right? We're just because we are born as a gender, we have a specific role in society. There's a predetermination. We're destined for what that has to bring. And we can,
I will say I always did want to cook in the kitchen with a dress and heels, and I have not done that yet. That is going to happen, and I will take a picture of it.
Do it.
Yeah.
do we know what fatalism is? Fatalism is the entire belief in, like, fate or destiny, that they are like it has complete
Not like-
and utter.
Wait, does fatal come from fate?
F-A.
Oh, look that up.
F-A-T-A-L.
Yeah, look that up.
Oh,
There's a book. No, I'm just kidding.
this one's called Fatalism is Real.
Fatal is real. Oh, gosh. Okay. Fatal, decreed by fate.
Yeah,
It comes from fate. Yeah.
it comes from fate.
That's interesting. I never even thought about that. I
Yeah.
never connected those two words.
Now we have.
Yep.
Now we have.
Heard it here, folks.
So that is what destiny instinct is. Did you know that we actually had an instinct inside of us for that destiny instinct? So are there advantages to it? Let's see what some of those advantages are, okay? There's psychological comfort. There's actual comfort that comes to us. Do you have some?
No, I just
you feel like, yeah.
I
feel
agree with
comforted.
that. That
Yeah.
sounds good.
Believing in one's fate is predetermined can provide a sense of comfort and security. I'm on the right path. That's what I was hinting at earlier. Like, some people, I feel like making those decisions, choosing everything for their life, is overwhelming for them. Perhaps there's even some kind of phobia about that kind of thing, right? Acceptance of life events. It helps us to deal with certain life events that have happened. Perhaps the death of someone. There's a plan. Okay, it helps us to cope with things. It gives us humility. Believing in our fate can also help individuals develop a sense of humility and acceptance of their limitations. That's all the ones I'll mention right there. What are the disadvantages? What are some? It can lead to fatalism and a lack of action. If we believe that certain events are predetermined or inevitable, we may not take action to prevent or mitigate negative outcomes. It can also lead to negative perception of the world. For example, if we just think politicians are corrupt, they're destined to be corrupt, that's what they are, they're corrupt. No, we can change things. We can push forward. If we believe that poverty or war or other negative events are inevitable, we may view the world as hopeless or dangerous. No, we can take our skills, we can take our experiences and our passions, and we can change it. We can fix it. We can do something. Some people use destiny as an excuse for failure rather than learning, no, that's all, it's destiny. It's destiny. No, we can learn from it, right?
Yeah.
blindly just following instead of making those choices. That's something else that can be dangerous about destiny,
Absolutely.
and that lack of action.
Yeah. So, destiny is a path that we are destined to follow, and our destiny can be changed and affected by the choices we make based off of our phobias, our instincts, and even our quirks.
Yeah.
You know.
She said the thing.
Aaron's like, she said it.
So we talked a little bit in this episode about how destiny can be shifted based off of our environment and the history of the people who have been in our environment, our gender, our race, our geographical location, all of those things. They can be limiting, or they can open us up to even more experiences than other people have. And that's just, it's sometimes unfortunate, but it happens. And we also talked about blindly following the fact that destiny is predetermined and you have nothing to do. You can't change anything. That can be fatal. Hence the fatalism.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, destiny.
It's true.
Yeah.
Nice.
What a great word, my friends.
Yeah.
Well, we have come to the end of our season.
Our season.
No.
That's right. Season 3 is over, my friend. This is the end of it. You'll have to wait till next season, season 4, when we'll all be back at you in season 4.
Can't get rid of us.
We're here for a while. Don't worry.
Until then, I am Dominic.
I'm Jenna.
I'm Rozzy.
Harmon.
He forgot.
Forgot my own name. Sorry.
And you've been listening to One Word.
One word.
One word.
One word.
We'll get it. Maybe next season.
Come back next season.
One word.
See you next season.
One Word is a production of BFAC On Air.